The refs are going to take a look at this one. Foul on Indiana, but wait, hold everything. That's not just a whistle, that's a technical foul call. A dead ball contact technical. It's shocking to see so many of these piling up in one game, and the drama's only getting hotter. And speaking of heat, did Lexi Hull just get her revenge on Kayla McBride? Because this moment looked personal. The last time the Fever clashed with the Lynx, McBride's elbow smashed Hull in the face, and unbelievably, the refs punished Hull instead. But in this showdown, with Indiana crushing Minnesota, Hull came back swinging and fans went wild. This wasn't just highlight reel stuff, it was redemption on full display. Fever fans, jump in the comments and give Lexi her flowers right now. Final score: Fever 83, Lynx 72. Indiana storms into the playoffs with fireworks, winning 3 straight to close the season. But here's the twist: how do you survive when half your team disappears? Indiana didn't get that lesson in theory, they lived it. Game after game, players dropped like dominoes on the injury report. Caitlin Clark? Groin injury, gone. Sophie Cunningham, MCL tear. Sydney Colson, ACL ripped apart. Chloe Bibby's knee buckled. Ari McDonald fractured her foot. That lineup could start for any team, yet Indiana had to watch them all sit in street clothes. What was left? One of the thinnest rotations in the league, with no coaching whiteboard or preseason plan prepared for this kind of disaster. Then came the cruelest news. Caitlin Clark was done for the season. What started as a nagging injury turned into the end of her rookie campaign. This was supposed to be the year she carried Indiana into the national conversation. Instead, her season ended in a statement from the medical staff. That kind of blow doesn't just shake a lineup, it rattles a fan base from Indiana to Iowa. Clark wasn't just selling tickets, she was the heartbeat of the franchise, and losing her felt like the moment all playoff dreams could vanish. Yet on the sidelines, Clark kept her fire alive, and the rest of the Fever refused to fold. That's when Kelsey Mitchell took the spotlight, and she didn't just step in, she took over. Mitchell became the engine of the offense and rewrote the record books, surpassing Tamika Catching's single-season scoring numbers. 20 points a night, game after relentless game, with opponents doubling her and every scouting report screaming her name. Still, she delivered the punch that kept Indiana's pulse alive. But she wasn't alone. Aliyah Boston carried her weight in the paint and then some. 15 points, 8 boards a game down the final stretch, and she shattered the franchise's single-season rebounding record. Boston became the anchor, preventing Indiana from imploding, bullying forwards, cleaning the glass, and giving the team second chances they had no business earning. Her presence was the stability Indiana desperately needed in the chaos. Surely that meant a playoff berth was impossible, right? Wrong. Instead of collapsing, Indiana turned pain into fuel. Role players morphed into nightly heroes, hardship signings dropped double-digit points, and bench players played like stars. What looked like a funeral became a resurrection. The Fever clawed into the postseason not as choking underdogs, but as a team nobody wanted to run into. And their true test came against Minnesota, the same Lynx squad considered the gold standard all year long. But this wasn't about pride anymore, it was survival. Indiana locked up a playoff spot, but a win meant climbing to a better seed and proving they belonged at the grown-ups table. And from the opening tip, they seized control. A 10-0 run stunned the Lynx and forced a timeout. By halftime, Indiana led by double digits and never let go. Minnesota collapsed from deep, just 2 of 23s fell, and every Indiana stop felt like a knockout punch. Suddenly, it was the Fever dictating pace, punishing mistakes, and humiliating the league's best team. And when the lights got bright, unexpected names lit it up. Odyssey Sims, once a hardship signing, dropped 15 like a player out to prove she still belonged. Ariel Powers buried back-to-back threes in the second half that iced the game and sent the crowd into a frenzy. Natasha Howard outmuscled anyone in her path, stuffing the stat sheet and plugging every leak. Indiana's bench, once dismissed, played like the deeper, scarier roster. The victory meant more than just another W. 24 wins, 20 losses, their first winning season since 2015. 9 long years of false starts and frustration finally overturned. This wasn't mediocrity. It was proof that Indiana's rebuild had taken root. And yet, even in street clothes, Caitlin Clark's fingerprints were all over this game. Cameras caught her signaling timeouts, calling defensive coverages, and even joking with refs. From the bench, she looked like Coach Clark, orchestrating momentum without touching the ball. Her presence never faded, it only shifted. But the real headline? Lexi Hull's redemption. The crossover that broke Kayla McBride's ankles in the second quarter put the entire arena on its feet and exploded on social media in minutes. Fans called it karma, critics called it hilarious, and Fever supporters screamed justice. What once was blood on the floor became Hull's moment of power. From victim to victor, Hull flipped the script and humiliated the same opponent who left her bloodied weeks before. Indiana fans finally got payback, and it came wrapped in a highlight that will live forever. Defensively, Hull dominated too, suffocating Minnesota's guards, deflecting passes, forcing terrible shots, and making the top team in the league look ordinary. Her performance wasn't just about revenge, it embodied Indiana's identity. Overlooked, disrespected, pushed to the brink, and yet rising when it mattered most. Hull's crossover was more than a move, it was an exclamation point on the Fever's defiant journey. Now, Indiana heads into the playoffs, battle-tested, buzzing with confidence, and armed with the belief that this season is only the beginning. Fever Nation, don't let the hype die here. Keep showing up, keep pouring in support, because what we just saw wasn't luck. It was the first step back to the top. Smash that like, subscribe, and show Lexi her overdue love in the comments, because Indiana just proved they are for real.